Hi everyone, welcome to Emma Tales. I'm excited to share a new story with you. My name is Emma, and I am 19 years old. While some might see me as an introvert, I embrace that label. It accurately captures my essence. I've never been drawn to big parties or loud spaces. And I often wonder why others are surprised when I prefer spending time with my beautiful dog over people. To me, this makes perfect sense. Beautiful dogs provide unconditional affection and accept me for my reserved demeanor and distinctive traits which I cherish deeply. I live with my parents in a charming, modest house on the town's edge. It's a cozy 3-story home, nothing fancy, but it's where my heart is. The walls are coated in a gentle, worn yellow, and the wooden floors announce every footstep, contributing to the charm of this old house, filled with memories of joy and sadness. My parents bought it when they got married, and it's woven with our family's history. My room is my sanctuary, a private space where I can escape the frequent turmoil of our home. It's my retreat when my parents' loud and long-lasting arguments get too overwhelming. Their conflicts aren't just simple disagreements. They often turn into prolonged shouting that fills the home with a tense, stormy atmosphere. In contrast, my room is where I find peace with my 3 beautiful dogs, Jack and Oliver. Jack, the cheerful German Shepherd, is always ready for a hug with his ever-waging tail, and Oliver, the spirited little terrier, is full of life. They are more than pets to me. They are my support system, providing companionship and a non-judgmental ear when the world becomes too daunting. While I've never been great at making conversation with classmates at school with my beautiful dog, I can express my thoughts and emotions freely. I prefer the quiet calm of the library over the chaotic buzz of the cafeteria. My friend circle is small, and even they sometimes find it hard to understand the depth of my thoughts and emotions. The solitude that comes with being an introvert often makes me wonder if I might one day change. But honestly, I've become comfortable in my solitude. With Jack and Oliver by my side, I seldom feel truly alone. This past summer, however, marked a break from my typical routines. The days were beautifully sunny, providing a perfect backdrop but the tension at home was unmistakable. My parents were caught up in yet another conflict, though the reason for their latest argument was unclear. Typically, my father would withdraw to the garage to sulk, while my mother isolated herself in her bedroom, leaving me to pass the time solely with my beautiful dog. This cycle was a routine part of my life, repeating itself almost daily. One day, my parents decided to go out, and though I'm not sure where they went, it seemed like they were trying to mend their fractured relationship. For the first time in ages, I found myself alone at home, surrounded by a peaceful quiet that replaced the usual noise of arguments, door slams, and awkward silences. Instead of hiding away in my room, I felt a rare impulse to seize the day and do something bold. The idea of hosting a party came to mind, an odd thought for an introvert like me. But the calm atmosphere sparked a wave of spontaneity I hadn't experienced in a long time. I reached out to a few classmates, keeping the invite list small to maintain a manageable crowd and avoid the mayhem of a big party with limited options for snacks and beverages. I focused on setting a vibrant mood with music and colorful lights. My beautiful dog, Jake and Oliver, happily mingled with the guests, clearly enjoying the added company. As the night progressed, I found myself slowly embracing the lively vibe of the party. It wasn't my typical preference, but the change was refreshingly enjoyable. But I was resolved to relish this unique opportunity for interaction. I had never been the focal point at social events, and the sheer confidence exuding from those around me left me unsure of my role. As I tried to relax into the setting, a sense of claustrophobia began to set in, heightening my discomfort. The music pounded louder, and the crowd's laughter and chatter only intensified my sense of isolation. I retreated to a corner, anxiously clutching my drink, wondering how much longer I could withstand the evening. Just as I thought it couldn't become more overwhelming, someone kicked off a game of truth or dare. Naturally, I ended up being dared. The challenge came at me so swiftly that I hardly had time to think. The person who dared me wore a playful smirk, clearly curious to see if I'd retreat. "I dare Mona to let your beautiful dog join her," they said, nodding towards Jack and Oliver, who were merrily playing in the living room with other guests. I stood there, momentarily stunned, trying to comprehend the ridiculous of the dare. It was so outlandish and unexpected that I struggled to react. Silence enveloped the room, as everyone's eyes fixed on me waiting for my response. My eyes flirted between Jack and Oliver, who were blissfully unaware of the situation not surrounding me. They were just beautiful dog, pure, loving and innocent, oblivious to the bizarre situation I was in. The idea of involving them in such a ludicrous dare felt deeply wrong. It was an intrusion into the bond we shared. Jack and Oliver were not mere tools for amusement or players in a warped game. They were my friends, my comfort. The thought of dragging them into this peculiar challenge seemed like a betrayal of the trust and love we had cultivated. I glanced at the person who had issued the challenge, and without saying a word, firmly shook my head. The room fell into a brief silence, then erupted with laughter as others dismissed it as just a joke. I could feel the heat in my cheeks, but I stood firm, resolutely refusing to give in to a pressure that felt fundamentally wrong, no matter how trivial it seemed to them. As the evening wore on, it all became a blur. Guests came and went, the music eventually stopped, and they all left one by one alone. I began cleaning up the remains of the night, wrestling with a mix of relief and disappointment. The gathering hadn't gone. As I had hoped, it fell short of the excitement I had felt earlier. I retreated to my room, where Jack and Oliver awaited. I shut the door, collapsed onto the bed with a heavy sigh, and they snuggled up on either side. I let out a deep sigh as the beautiful dog hopped up beside me, snuggling against me with their warm bodies. As I stroked Jack's soft fur and gave Oliver a scratch behind his ears, a troubling thought hit me. I realized Geordie's tassel was unusually firm, signaling he was in heat. At that moment my mind wasn't fully clear, perhaps still clouded from the alcohol and a bout of misguided curiosity. I impulsively removed my nightwear and dampened my hand, intending to soothe myself. Driven by a bewildering impulse, I positioned myself on all fours, pulling Jack closer until he clambered onto my back. Instinct took over him, and the intense encounter that followed was as rough as it was regrettable. It was overpowered by an unnatural pleasure that I shamefully enjoyed. The aftermath left me feeling violated with the chilling sensation of his discharge on my skin. Once Jack stepped away, Oliver, without any hesitation, took his place. I narrowly directed him correctly as he began. The experience left me feeling filthy, compelling me to shower and eventually sleep in the bathtub, overwhelmed by disbelief and incessant thoughts about the incident. In those moments where everything spiraled out of control, I felt detached, as if my mind was enshrouded in a dense fog. The guilt that followed was suffocating. I knew better, yet I hadn't acted on my initial misgivings. Now I lay here, Jack and Oliver at my feet, completely unaware of the depth of my betrayal. My heart is heavy with sorrow. My hands tremble with remorse. How could I inflict pain on those I cherished the most? I never intended to breach that sacred line, or to be filled with such self-loathing. I long to apologize to them, but words fail me. How can I possibly atone for an act so heinous? The shame is consuming, and I'm uncertain how to move forward or face myself again. If this story resonated with you, please like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us craft more engaging stories for you.